Now, here's another glimmer for you. South Africa, where we first heard of Omicron on the day after Thanksgiving. It has passed its peak of the variant. Scientists are now projecting we could hit our peak here in the U.S. as soon as the middle of this month. And finally, maybe we save the best for last, the top health official in Denmark says Omicron is bringing about the end of the pandemic. We will have our normal lives back in 2 months, she says. So does that mean we could be on the other end of this thing by spring or maybe even by Easter? That's where we began with Dr. Brett Giroir, frequent guest for us and friend of the broadcast. It's always good to see you. He was the former testing czar under President Trump. So let's start with that study out of Denmark, Doctor. Could you think Omicron be maybe the beginning of the end, possibly a couple of 3 months down the road?
Well, thanks for having me on. I'm not going to make that prediction, but there is a silver lining to Omicron. And that silver lining is that it's very contagious, but not very severe, which means that everybody's getting a good boost of their antibodies and their T cells. So what the person in Denmark was really saying is if we can get through this, and remember, we'll get through it a lot better if you're vaccinated before you get Omicron, there will be widespread natural immunity and what we call hybrid immunity, where you've had a vaccine and Omicron. So yes, this could be the beginning of the end. Now, when we say the end, I don't think that COVID is going to go away. It's going to be endemic. But we can live with it if it causes a cold and not many hospitalizations. That's what we really shoot for, not the lack of any case, but the lack of hospitalizations.
What does this mean for the Delta variant, Doctor? If we're talking so much about Omicron and it's running through the population, what does it mean for Delta?
Well, if you had to choose, you would choose not to get either, but you certainly would rather get Omicron. And we have pretty good information now that if you get sick with Omicron, it greatly boosts your immunity against Delta. So Omicron will provide cross protection against Delta. So if you have had Omicron, particularly if you had vaccinated and then get Omicron, Delta should not be a threat to you, and that's really good news. Now, if you're immunosuppressed, have cancer, on special drugs, all bets are off. I'm talking about the regular population.
People are walking around with this apparently and not even knowing it, Doctor. Is that reassuring to you or not?
Oh, it really is, because, and I know, I've had literally dozens of people I know, and half of them have no symptoms whatsoever. They just tested because they were exposed. It is less severe because it's a less severe infection. And remember, if you've been vaccinated, or if you have hybrid immunity, you've gotten COVID and been vaccinated, your chances of getting ill with this are very low. They're not zero, but they are very low. So this is just all emblematic of a less severe infection in a more immune population. These are all good things.
Yeah, I'm wondering, as I sit here, having been vaxxed and boosted, talking with friends of mine who have been as well and have gotten COVID, Omicron particularly, are we better off? No one wants it, but if we should get it, is that a better thing for our immunity system if we're vaxxed and boosted?
Well, you know, you're getting a little edgy here, but all of us have a date with COVID, particularly with Omicron. It's so contagious and it evades prior immunity. So if you're going to get it, and most people are going to get it, it's much better to get it after you've been vaccinated and boosted. You can't hide in your basement forever. When you come out a year from now, there's going to be something around. So there is something to be said for that. Now, look, I don't want anybody to go out looking for Omicron.
Right.
But if you do get Omicron on top of being vaccinated and boosted, you're likely to have a mild illness, and it's likely to give you very long protection against all variants in the future.
I'm a huge fan of the vaccine, Doctor. You know that. You and I have talked about it several times, but I'm wondering if we're all going to get it and the majority of us are vaccinated, then is the vaccine working with Omicron?
Well, yes, it's working with Omicron because it's only mildly protective against you getting Omicron. Even boosted people are getting it, but you're staying out of the hospital and you're staying away from getting severe illness. You're likely avoiding long COVID. These are really what the vaccines are meant to do. If I have the sniffles for 2 or 3 days, look, I'm not going to, I'm going to claim that as a victory. And I think even President Trump, he expressed it very well about, it's the people who are unvaccinated in the hospital. If you get, the Trump administration's vaccines and boosters, you're going to be protected. And I agree with that.
So clarify for us, if you would, the new CDC guidance. There's some confusion about 5 days now that you need to, I guess, quarantine. Is it 5 days after you're positive? Is it 5 days after you get symptoms? 5 days plus 5 days of masking around others? I mean, once you're positive, what do people do now?
So it's very confusing, and I really empathize with people because it's been a massive miscommunication on confusing guidelines. What the CDC is recommending is that if you are positive, that you isolate in your home away from other people for 5 days, and that after that you can go out wearing a mask for another 5 days to make sure you don't transmit it. Okay, we're all for getting out of isolation early, and I think the intent is right. The big question is, at 5 days, you could still be infectious, and I think all of us would have felt better if you put in a test there that if you want to be more careful, not necessarily required, but if you want to be more careful, take a test at 5 or 6 days. If you're negative, and that's a rapid test. If you're negative, you're really pretty much good to go. If you're positive, you're still highly infectious. You saw Dr. Fauci backtrack on the recommendations only a few days after they were given. So I don't know what's going on in the CDC's mind. I hope they clarify it this week, and I bet they will.
But you think people should get a test before they proceed after having it?
So, there's no black or white, right? If I'm going to visit my grandmother, or my mother, or, people at risk, I'm going to be very loath to be just 5 days and to go out with them, even if I'm wearing a mask. I would want a negative test, or I would want to stay in isolation for 10 days. I'm not saying you have to do that for everyone everywhere. It's all a matter of risk, right? If you're young and healthy and around vaccinated people, it's less important. If you're going to go into high-risk situations or going to go to a party or travel in groups, then it's a much better idea to get that rapid test. What Biden should be doing, instead of having 500 million just on the internet for anybody who wants them, he should be supporting people who want a test to get out of isolation by sending it to them, and also people who could benefit from the very powerful new oral drugs from Merck and Pfizer. That's where we should be. We should be strategic with those free tests, not give them out willy-nilly, first come, first serve.
You made some news this morning when you said that you agreed with Dr. Gottlieb that cloth masks don't necessarily work or aren't that efficient. Does that mean they haven't worked all along? And if not cloth, what do we need?
Thank you for asking that. Omicron is a really different beast. Cloth masks have never been perfect, but they have provided protection. And the CDC has estimated, 25 to 50% protection from spreading and getting. Omicron is very airborne. So it is a variant that is very different. So cloth masks provided reasonable protection in the past. N95 is always better. But with Omicron, cloth masks don't seem to be protective. In fact, they don't seem to be very useful at all. The typical single-layer cloth masks are the things you pull up like a bandana. So if you are concerned, and I'm not saying go out and wear a mask outdoors when you're riding your bike or, among people but if you are concerned or if you are at risk, like a person with cancer, immunosuppressed, diabetes, obese, old, and you're in a crowded situation, it is much better to wear a surgical mask, which are widely available, or an N95 mask, which are also widely available. Again, I'm not saying mandates, I'm not saying do it crazy, but if you're going to wear one, it's better to be safer with Omicron, which is a different beast.
Right. Okay, we're heading into the new year, so give us your outlook, I guess, if you would, Doctor. What are we in for? Are we looking at another booster 6 months from now? What do you think?
So it's possible, but I want to say, look, I'm very optimistic, and I was very concerned by your stats that you showed that people are more fearful. Look, we have vaccines that work, and the current vaccine works against Omicron to keep you out of the hospital. We have oral antivirals coming out. This is going to be like taking Tamiflu when you get the flu. They're very highly effective at keeping you out of the hospital. We have a whole slew of new monoclonal antibodies coming on. So look, we have lots of things that could protect us. I do believe that Omicron will sweep through the population. Even though it's not as severe, we have to protect the people who are vulnerable. We have to support our healthcare workers from hospitals getting overrun. But between the vaccines and Omicron immunity, I think we're going to see a dramatic decrease in the severity of this pandemic towards the mid-year. Now, it's hard to predict. Never trust Mother Nature with an evolving virus, but I do think we're in for a good year. I'm very positive about our prospects.
Well, let's hope you're right. And it's always great to have your voice. Dr. Brett Giroir, former Assistant Secretary for Health. Thanks for the time, sir. Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.